Light travels 186,000 miles per second. The sun above us, the SUN, is 93 million miles away. That sun, the light from it, it takes about 8 minutes for it to reach your face. The Milky Way galaxy that we are situated in, from one end to another, it takes 100,000 light years to go from one end to the other. That is 186,000 miles per second. That's 5.8 trillion miles per year. And it takes 100,000 years. Do you know how many galaxies there are in the universe? The estimates said years ago about 200 billion galaxies. Now the estimate is up to 2 trillion galaxies. The nearest galaxy is 25,000 light years away. You know, the average commercial airline travels about 550 miles per hour. We're talking 186,000 miles per second. And you have to go that distance just to get there. Considering the star in our solar system, the sun, do you know the sun is 1 million times the size of Earth? Imagine this is the Earth, okay? It's about the size of a golf ball, right? We're this little speck in the universe, and you and I are a little speck on the planet. And imagine this. You would have to fill a whole school bus with 1 million of these to equal the size of the sun that we look at every day. Do you know there is a star in our Milky Way called Betelgeuse? Betelgeuse is 270 million times the size of Earth. What does that mean? Imagine the New Orleans Superdome, right? In New Orleans, it fits 80,000 people. If this represents the Earth, you could fill the Superdome from bottom to top with rocks this size 3,000 times over. That's how massive one of these stars are in the universe. And consider something. Each galaxy has approximately 300 billion stars. 300 billion stars. And what did we say? There are over 2 trillion galaxies. The scientists say there are more stars in the firmament than all the grains of sand on every beach on Earth. And it says in the Psalms that God arranged each of these stars. It says, by the word of the Lord were the heavens made, the starry host by the breath of his mouth. Before time began, he said, let there be light. And he breathed these trillions of galaxies into existence with an untold number of stars. We hear about a star in today's gospel. Can we fathom the grandeur, the power of God, who who spoke everything into existence by his powerful word, ex nihilo, out of nothing. Get your mind around this fact. The largest star that the Hubble telescope observed is called Canis Majoris. Yeah, you Latin people out there, the big dog star. Do you know how big this one star is? 7 quadrillion times of Earth. If this represents Earth, you could fill the whole state of Texas with rocks this size, 22 inches deep. That's how big one of these stars that God made. And can you imagine? Are you in awe? Are you just blown away that we are here worshiping the God of the universe? We are crying out, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. That's why the angels, they veil their faces. That is why when you see some priests in the Eastern Rite, after the consecration of holding up the Eucharist, they veil their faces like this, saying, "Oh, the God of the universe is coming to us. And he knows us each by name." That's the glorious news. We're all miracles. We are all precious, unique, and unrepeatable. He says he knew you and I before we were formed in our mother's womb. And he numbers every hair on our head. This God of glory and majesty, on this feast of the Epiphany, this manifestation, pointed out to the 3 magi where his son would be born. And the magi, they followed one of these stars in the firmament, and then they came to Jerusalem. And they said, "Where is the newborn king going to be at?" There's this awesome painting by this Russian artist, and it has Mary holding her little divine child. And out of his right hand, you see just an expanse of all the galaxies emanating out from his hand. You see all the stars expanding from him. And then you see the 9 choirs of angels. There's a number of angels too high to count. And this artist captured it so well that the God of the universe had the audacity to empty himself, to kenosis, to say, "I am the God who breathed everything into existence. I will humble myself." But this artist captured it so well. It reminds us, the baby in the manger, keep our eyes on it, is this God of glory and majesty. In the left hand of this baby child, it shows you and I in glory, the destiny that will be revealed in heaven. It shows you and I transformed in the beatific vision. You see, the Son of God became the Son of Man so that the sons and daughters of God might become the sons and daughters of the Almighty. This is the good news of Christmas, of the Epiphany, that you and I are made in the image of majesty. You and I are made by this awesome and holy God. Quite often in prayer, you and I like to advise God. We like to tell him what to do. We like to counsel him. When Teresa of Avila was in prayer, she could hardly get beyond the words, Father, Father. She was so in ecstasy, so amazed, so in awe of this God. Whenever St. Francis would start praying, he would often be trembling. He would often be like those angels veiling their faces. I once saw this priest. He was so caught up in the Mass that after the consecration, he started weeping tears and tears and tears. He could hardly stand up at the altar. When Kyle Tennant, one of the priests from our diocese, consecrated the Eucharist for the first time, he could hardly get the words of institution out. This is my body. How about you and I? How about you and I? When we look up at these stars and think about the immensity, the power, 100,000 sticks of 100 billion explosions of dynamite would equal the power emanating from the SUN right now. The sun above, SUN, 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 million degrees Fahrenheit at its core, the power of one of these stars. Are we getting excited to worship and give God all our heart, mind, and soul to say, Father, I hold nothing back from you. I renounce every sin of my life. I will love you above all things. Only you are worthy of my worship. I will bow my knee to no other. And then we experience the explosion of joy, starting heaven, on the way to heaven, and it just leaping with all our heart that we are children of the Father.